have been studying the phrase Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. So we already studied a little bit of the Bijakshara mantra Omkara. So this Om is also known as Pranava. This statement is very important because in the course of our study of the Shastra, in some places it is addressed as Omkara, in some places it is called as Pranava. In fact, this will happen even in music. Many a time you use the word Pranava when you are actually meaning Omkara. So in every part of our Shastra, Om and Pranava are interchangeable. But having said that, Om is the primordial seed mantra and Pranava is actually a explanation or an explanatory word of Omkara. So why should I emphasize this? It is because they are not synonymous. That means wherever you see Om, you cannot simply go and replace it with Pranava. No, what is that spell check? Replace all. Because it has to be used with some caution. So Pranava with reference to Shiva, because we are studying the Rudradhyaya. So that we have to establish. So what is the source for us? The source for us is the Shiva Purana. Shiva Purana has a beautiful section, a whole chapter, where all the sages come to Suta and then ask him, please give us an explanation of what Omkara means. And this is something that is handled in every Purana. Actually, Purana is very important to study because Purana is an explanation of the Veda mantra. Our understanding of Veda will become incomplete without a careful study of the Purana. So for Omkara with reference to Shiva, in the Shiva Purana, it gives certain definitions of Pranava. Many definitions are there. I am going to pick up only one or two most significant definitions. For those of you who would like to go to the source, it is in Book 1, Shiva Purana, Book 1, Chapter 17. In this, there is a conversation between all the sages and the Suta. And this question comes. When the students ask the question to Suta, please explain to me what is the meaning of Omkara and Pranava. For that, in all humility, Suta says, I do not know exhaustively what this Om means. It is only when there is a grace of Lord Shiva and he sits in my heart and speaks, then only through my body, through my voice, through my speech, it is possible for you to understand what Pranava is, and I will be articulating properly. So this is another very important point. If we have got to understand the meaning of any mantra, first and foremost, we have got to give up the attitude of conquering the subject. We have to go and surrender to the subject and ask the deity that we are worshipping to enlighten us, to open our mind for that knowledge. So that is the meaning of what Suta Puranika says. I can say only when Shiva actually gives me a grace, blesses me to speak. And he continues. Pranava is the best of all the boats. He uses the word navam to cross the ocean of samsara which has evolved out of Prakriti. So, what is the most important point here to note? Samsara or becoming is a product of Prakriti. It is not a product of Atman. Why is it not a product of Atman? Because Atman is not matter which can modify. Isn't it? Since it is the spirit. Therefore only matter can modify, and therefore this samsara or our becoming of many things, that becoming can happen only by Prakriti. And this is a huge ocean, very difficult to cross. So you need a boat to cross this ocean. And that boat is Pranava. Pro hi prakriti jatasya samsarasya mahodadhehe. Samsarasya maha udadi. A great ocean. Samsarasya mahodadhehe. Navam navantaramiti pranamam vai vidur buddhaha. Pranava is considered by Buddhaha, by the wise, as a ever new Navam. Navantaram. Nava or Nav means it is a boat. It is a boat which will make us cross the ocean of samsara, which is an offshoot of nature, Aswara Prakriti. Or Pranava means that there is no diffusiveness. So what do we mean by diffusiveness? What is it that causes diffusion? The 5 elements which come together in various forms and they carry name, nama rupa. Therefore it is called prapancha. Pancha means 5. Pra means perfectly combined. So this prapancha also goes on changing. So we have got change of seasons. We have got morning, evening, day, movement of the sun. So you see a lot of movement, a lot of change that is going on in the prapancha also. But the diffusiveness of the prapancha, so in what ways the diffusiveness manifests? In 3 ways. That is either in terms of space, desha, or in terms of time, kala, or in terms of avastha or the state. So, desha, kala, avastha are the 3 aspects of prapancha, the world. Desha means it has to be, you have to refer to space. Whenever you refer to space, you must refer to time. When you refer to time and space, you must refer to the state. Is this person a boy, a girl, a youth? Is wakeful, sleep? Which state? Without these coordinates, you cannot determine the locus of prapancha. See how deep it is. And then, so this, when you have internalized Omkara, then what happens? Praha, prapancho na nasti. Wow. For you, there is no becoming, there is no diffusiveness. Because of this, for you, for that particular person who can get to this state of mind, for him, there is the pranava siddhi. That means he has been able to achieve the oneness with Omkara. So by just chanting Om, we don't get anywhere. Only there could be some vibrations. The thing is, there is no transformation. So he says, Praha prapancho na nasti vaha yushmakam pranamam viduhu. And then we'll look at one more. Or Pranava is so called because it is the ideal guide that will take us to liberation and enlightenment. You need some light, or you need a hand which will hold you all the way through. It is not like the signpost which will say that if you go this way, you are going to reach Cincinnati. Isn't it? Now what happens as soon as you have moved a little further away from the signpost, people like me who have ADD will forget in 5 minutes. Isn't it? So, what kind of a guide we need? We need a guide who will hold our hand continuously till we reach our goal. Therefore, prakarshena, perfectly, with total commitment to me, nayet yasmat, that which will take us from the becoming prapancha state to the being state. Moksham vaha pranamam viduhu. Prakarshena nayet yasmat moksham vaha pranamam with Om. Now our homework is, when we are studying Rudradhyaya, where do we start? Where is this prapancha? Where and how am I becoming with each one of the aspects, each one of the anuvakas, and how I have reached that state of nishprapancha or freedom from prapancha? Is there a path that is carved out in Rudradhyaya? Is our study. So you may note this point. This is how we are going to continue the study of this Rudra. So you also see, if you want to have a mentor, a guide, who will hold your hand and take you to the other shore, what should we do? What is the first thing we have to do? First thing we have to do is, sir, please take me. Isn't it? That request, how do we do? By starting our chanting with Om. So when you start your chanting with Om, it is calling out to this energy of Pranava, saying that now I am ready to come with you, please hold my hand. Therefore, the Shastra says, Vedadaucha prayojyam syat. Therefore, please start all your chanting, everything you do in the day, whether it is secular or spiritual, start with Om. The moment we open our eyes in the morning, start with Om. Then you have that hand which holds us. And ritualistically, they say that Vedadau, in the beginning of the study of the Veda, Vandane Sandhyayorapi, if you combine it, Sandhya Vandana. Even when you are doing the Sandhya Vandana, Omkara should be the first utterance. Then what happens? How do we know? There must also be an interim benchmark of it. How we are progressing. Then a person gets purified. Samshuddhaha Purusho Bhavet. So the religion also talks about whoever utters Omkara is equivalent to having taken a bath. And that bath is called mantra snana. How do we... Snana means bath. Mantra means the mantra. Taking a bath with mantra. Say for example you are in travel. You are going from here to India, it is going to take you, by the time you can have your next shower, it's going to be 48 hours. How do you purify yourself? As many times as possible, if you say Om, it is equivalent to you are taking the sacred bath. Okay? And then, cross-reference. In Narayana Atharvashira, see, because again, we should not say this is applicable only to Shiva. We should not open that can of problems. Because there is no difference between Shiva, Rama, Krishna, Christ, Allah. Everybody is same. All is one only. Om ityagre vyaharet. Om iti agre vyaharet. Agre, in the beginning, at first. Om iti. The communication, vyavahara. What is vyavahara? Transaction. Transaction, what is the prerequisite for transaction? Communication. What is the mode of communication? Speech. Isn't it? So what is the first utterance, first speech that should transmit from one person to another person? Om. And therefore, how do you greet somebody? You can just say Om. Om, Hari Om. So that is how you start the greeting. Om ityagre vyaharet. So in all our study, whether you are studying Rudradhyaya or any of these suktas, Vishnu Sahasranama, what is the first phrase we have to use? Nama iti paschat. Paschat, afterwards, Namaha iti. This is why we always say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. So Om Namaha. So first the letter Om, then the Namaha, and this is how you have to start the japa or the repetition. Rudra japa has to be started with Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. So that is why we prescribe that Rudradhyaya cannot be commenced without uttering this phrase Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. So we have seen Om and Namaha. So we have to look at Bhagavan, Bhagavate. So who is this Bhagavan? We use this word Bhagavan and all its forms to inspire in us a sense of awe and wonder. The moment you say Bhagavan, they will say, oh, there is something that you cannot see, experience in your ordinary everyday experience. That's the power of this word Bhagavan. Anything you see of such extraordinary experience, it will create in you bhakti and shraddha. Therefore, as soon as you say Bhagavan, Om Namo Bhagavate, when you come to the third word, the bhakti and shraddha in you are awakened. Without the prerequisite of bhakti, devotion, and shraddha, dedication, without the prerequisite of these two, all the rest of the japa fails. That is why we must never chant any of the mantras by rote. The problem is, as soon as we learn this by heart, as soon as we are able to say this from memory, then we stop thinking. Then the mouth will be chanting the mantras, but the mind will be somewhere wandering. So that is why you must go on. Every time you chant the mantra, the mind must be completely absorbed in it, then it becomes a japa. That's why we recommend closing the eyes for those who cannot really control. Otherwise we'll be seeing who is wearing what kind of saree. So we use the word Bhagavan Shankaraha, Bhagavan Ramanaha. Sometimes we use the word even to undeserving people as Bhagavan. So that is why the study of the word Bhagavan is so important. And then, so one who has got Bhaga is Bhagavan. So what is this Bhaga? Bhaga means wealth. It means fortune, all its in its ultimate level. Wealth, fortune, transcendental powers, Mahayogi, must be all powerful. Not only that, one who is entitled to and receives his share. Think of the depth of this. Nobody can help worshipping God. Only thing is, they may say that we don't worship God, we don't believe in God, but whatever they believe in, suppose they believe in money, suppose they believe in power, all that belongs to Ishvara only, and therefore one who receives the share. Now the question is, what happens if you do not give Ishvara the share that is due to him? How does he take from us? Suppose I ask you, how do you age? What is the process of aging? Then we can give a lot of scientific explanation for that there are n number of cells and some of the cells will never be replaced. Sariya?
Yeah.
Simple explanation, isn't it? So that is how we go on aging. So where did those cells which did not come back, where did that go? Who took that? Who took that? This is dramatized in the story of the Daksha Yajna. In Daksha Yajna, what happens? There was one deity. His name was Bhaga. Actually, this Bhaga is also one of the Suryas. There are 12 Adityas. One of the Adityas is Bhaga. What this fellow will be doing is, in this sacrifice, lot of wealth is coming, lot of offerings are coming. Those offerings he goes on giving away to whomsoever he likes. He is my friend, he is my cousin, he is my brother, right? So go on giving away everything. And Veerabhadra comes and looks at, sees this, and look at this disorderly way in which disposal of all the resources were being done. Therefore, he will come and take away his eyes. Therefore, Bhagane Tribde Namaha. So, any indiscriminate use, any indiscriminate disposal of any wealth is blindness, isn't it? It is blindness. Suppose we use our wealth for charity, for creating institutions, for creating opportunities, jobs and all that, it's a worthwhile use. Suppose we use it for other activities, some wrongful activities, it is abuse. That means you are blind. So this bhaga, and then that is why when we study Bhagya Sukta, please remember to get this link. In Bhagya Sukta, these points are expanded further. Bhaga pranetar bhaga satyaradho bhage mam dhiyamuda vadadannaha bhaga prano janayako virashvair bhaga prandravirnruvantasyama uthedanim bhagavantaha. So he is the Bhagavanta. And then Bhaga also means one who is worthy of worship. Sayanacharya says Bhaga Bhajaniyam. So worthy of worship. Bhagavan is also one who fulfills what you require. See, while he does not tolerate abuse of the resources, he will also make sure you get your share and your due. Now put it this way. I who get things from the cosmos of what is due to me, therefore I also to some extent become a Bhagavan. Why? Because I am entitled to my share and I get it. So every explanation I gave for Bhagavan in a limited sense, limited to my body, limited to the time I am going to be here on this earth, to that extent I am also Bhagavan. But the Bhagavan Shiva that we are talking about, since he is beginningless, since he is endless, since he is not material in nature, he is not part of nature, but he is supra and super nature, and therefore his Bhagavan or Bhagavanship is Anantaha. So it is infinite, and for me it is finite. Finite because of only the limitation of the prapancha, not the limitation of the Atman. So there are two letters in Bhaga. There is a traditional explanation of what this Bhaga, Bha and Ga means. Sambharteti tatha bharta Bhakaro arthadvayanvitaha. Sambharta, that means one who is the fulfiller of all that we need and the Lord of everything. Unless he has got lordship, how can we give me something? How can you give me anything of which you are not a owner? So one who is the universal owner, to that extent he will give it to me. Therefore he has got, Bha has got two connotations. One who is a fulfiller, Sambharta, and the second one is who is also the Lord. Sambharteti tatha bharta. Bhakaro artha dvayanvita. It has got two meanings. Then what about Ga? Ga. Ga means Neta or leader. Gamayita or guide, instructor. And Srashta, creator, inspirer. Now you see, everything I told about Om is seen in Bhagavan also. Because he is the inspirer, he is the one who holds my hand, he is the guide who will take me from here to there. From samsara and prapancha to moksha, he is taking me. Therefore, it is all Gakara. Gama, Ga. Therefore, Neta, Gamayita, Srashta, Gakarorthaha, Tatha Mune. Sambharteti tatha bharta bhakaro arthadvayanvitaha neta gamayita srashta gakarortha tatha pune. Meaning of Bhagavan. So to be a Bhagavan, we have got to define even that Bhagavan. There must be 6 absolute qualities which are unlimited in nature. Aishwaryasya samagrasya must be Ishvara of the entire Prakriti, of the entire nature. That is why what he does, he gives us our body, he gives us time so that you live in this world for 100 years, right? He will give you some material comforts, he will give you friends, relatives and all those only to take it away from you. Every one of them to take it away from you, isn't it? Every single one of them. And therefore, who is the owner? He is the owner. Aishwaryasya samagrasya Viryasya, for all that I achieve, with all my ability, he is the one who is making it happen. Yashasaha, for success. Shriyaha, for the wealth that I have acquired. Jnana, the knowledge. Only when he reveals the jnana to me, I can know. Otherwise he can take it away in no time. A palkiwala can lose his mind. Isn't it? One of the most, Ronald Reagan can lose his mind. Even that jnana is only to be given by him, and vairagya also detachment. Because suppose at this stage I don't care about that balloon which was extremely valuable to me at some point of time, isn't it? Who instilled in me that detachment? And therefore he is Bhaga Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yashasashriyaha Jnana Vairagyayoschaiva Shannam Bhaga iti Rana. There was a very great scholar called Sayanacharya. Sayanacharya was in the Vijayanagara kingdom. The founders of the Vijayanagara kingdom were Harihara, Bukka and Harihara. In the times of Bukka and Harihara, when the kingdom was founded, there were 2 brothers. One was called Madhava, or Madhava and his brother, Sayana. Madhava is also known as Vidyaranya. So Sayana is his younger brother. So Sayana is the one who wrote a commentary on all the four Vedas, and it is called as Vedartha Prakasha. Very much worthwhile reading. So it is available on the internet. And then some of that, it is there with me also. Only thing is it's in Kannada script. So those who know Kannada can read it. Otherwise, the original Sanskrit script is there on the internet. So this, he wrote a Vedanta Prakasha. He was also a great writer on ethics. So he wrote Subhashita Sudhanidhi. And he wrote on medicine, Ayurveda. And he also wrote Sangeeta Sara Sudhanidhi on music. One of the great landmark works on music. So he gives a definition of what Bhagavan is. Utpattim cha, vinasham cha, bhutanam agatim gatim, vetti vidyam avidyam cha, shannam bhaga iti rata. That means one who knows how things are born, utpattim cha, how and when also, where, all these 3. Utpattim cha, vinasham cha, how, when and where a particular entity will be taken out of its form. Vinashancha. How the beings come into our view and manifestation, how they go out of our view. Bhutanam agatim gatim. One who knows both knowledge, vetti vidyam, and also knows ignorance, avidyancha, shannam bhaga iti rata. 6 qualities has to be there for a bhaga. That means utpatti, how things are born. Vinasha, how things are destroyed. Vinashancha. How things come into being. Bhutanam agatim. How things go away from manifestation. Gatim. Knowing vidya, vetti vidyam. Knowing ignorance, avidyancha. These 6 qualities define who a Bhagavan is. So in short, Bhagavan is the wealthy one. However, it does not mean only material wealth, because all material wealth is relative and it is temporal. So what is the take-home point when we say Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya? We know about Om, we know about Namaha. What do we take home from Bhagavan? Arogyam, Vidvatta, Sajjana Maitri, Mahakule Janma, Swadhinata cha Pumsam, Mahadaishwaryam, Vinapyarthaihi. Mahabharata. The meaning is, if we are blessed with good health, Arogyam, Vidvatta, with knowledge and scholarship, Sajjana Maitri, friendship of noble people, being born or with the possibility of being born in an exalted family. That means you have got good role models. Family need not necessarily mean father, mother. It can be in a community which is conducive for our growth. Mahakule Janma, Swadhinata, self-control, complete self-control. Mahad Aishwaryam, it is the greatest wealth. Vinapi Arthai, even if you don't have a dime. So that is the wealth to which we have got to go towards and worship Shiva as Bhaga. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. We will see in the next class.